I will start with one incident today. Before I start to elaborate on that incident and then more on it and what about it. Once when I was working, I, with some of my colleagues, went for a lunch. And while we were talking, one of the colleagues over something, he told me, looking straight at me without flinching, he said, if you slap a Sardar, the Sardar will take the slap on the face and continue walking and will not fight back. And I was shocked. And he had said this as an insult to me. And I was shocked that he would say this because I know this. I'm a Sardar, I'm a Sikh by birth. And I know this is true not because we lack the fight as a culture or ethnicity. It's not that we lack the fight. It's because we are very, very spiritual. The amount of spirituality Sikh people have in their families is just at a different level. And every day, on a regular basis, as I was growing up, we were told not to fight with others, not to bitch about others, always see good in people, and so on. And I said, if that person did not slap you back and just turned around and started walking, and that person is a Sikh person, one, it is because he's very, very spiritual. It's almost as if you have slapped a monk. If a monk wearing his garb or a priest, highest of priest, is walking and you slap that person, it's next to a rarity that person will turn around and start fighting with you. That is how much spirituality is there in the Sikh people. So this man is a Hindu. And when he said this, it just sent me shockwaves. And I kept thinking about it for the longest of time. But not for ever or for weeks or months. Longest of time means just that many few hours. Because helpfully he also added, just the way all the Sardars were chopped up in 84 and they didn't do anything. And he was referring to Sikh genocide. That the Sikh people did not do anything to people who killed them or killed so many in their race and culture. And he's referring to Hindus who got away with it. So today's topic is being spiritual and those who are not spiritual. So before I continue with this topic, I want to thank him. Even though at that point I did not like it, it was a very big insult to take. But I'll thank him now, that thank you for saying it. That is why it's very important to listen to your environment. There is something you will come to know about yourself, and a perception about yourself and about your ethnicity or your culture. So first time I came to know what is the perception that has got built about Sikh people in the minds of Hindus because they got away with the genocide. They now believe, and very rightfully, that Sikh will not fight back. That even if you went to their house, chopped up their heads, and killed them, or looted and stole from them, and did mass executions, just as how they are by race, they may not fight back, and therefore you can continue doing so. And that's it. So I have decided to, so as I have thanked this person for sharing this truth, even though it's so bitter and with lot of pain, it's told me something, that you cannot be spiritual when the person on the other side is non-spiritual, or is just sitting and ringing bells in the temple. There is no other spirituality in that person. So I will tell you another uh, incidents which has helped me a great deal a lot of times. And that incidence is, when we were kids, I traveled to my hometown, and my granddad was just sharing one experience, and he said once one lady went and met some people, the council, the village council or whatever, and she said that my husband keeps spending money. Whatever he earns, he spends it, and he also spends whatever I save and earn. So she said she's repeatedly without money because he spends all the money. And she said, I'm very tired of trying to save the money and make a good life for both of us, and so on. So an elderly person heard her out and said, when you cannot educate and make the other person good enough, or drill any sense into the person, then you should become that person and then try to see what solution you can reach at. And he told her, if he's spending all the money and not saving anything, you will never save anything, because he doesn't let you keep any money in savings. He just takes everything. He said, next time you have the money or you make some money, you also spend it. He also spends it, you also spend it. So whatever money possibly he spends it in 20 days, if you both were at it, you can possibly spend it in 10 days. And he said, then you both can just sit idle and look at each other and then think what to do next. Maybe the person will come around senses and then understand there's no point spending, because there isn't enough money to go by till the next pay cycle. He said, this is the only solution. There is no other solution. You can't save money with the hole in the bucket. So you both start spending. That way nobody is complaining, and both of you will have to face the same situation of no money, having enjoyed your money first or finished all your money first. I like this example which my granddad had shared, or story which he had shared when I was a kid. And I refer to this story a lot of times when I am faced with a lot of situations. When you are dealing with unreasonable people, When you are spiritual and you don't hurt anyone, you are contained, your language is very clean, you don't pass comments, you don't have anything nasty and dirty to say, you don't gossip, and you're surrounded with this shit pool called Hindus who are forever doing this. After doing genocide, they label Sikh people as people who will take a slap and continue walking and will not fight back. Then I think it's time for Sikh people to understand you cannot be spiritual with people who are not spiritual. You should be as they are. And don't spare them. And not just Hindus, anybody. Don't spare them. And thanks to that person who said it, he's today a senior management in ICICI Bank. I share his picture and details. So this is the guy. He's possibly earning 7-8 lakhs a month, which translates to roughly 10,000 USD a month. And this is the mindset he works with. And I'm glad he shared it. So I thought of rewarding him by letting him know, thank you for sharing this perception. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone related to him was also part of the Sikh genocide in 1984, along with so many people in Delhi who never got punished or got brought to justice. So, this is the only talk I wanted to talk about today, that spirituality goes a long way only if someone has gratitude and understanding to understand the greatness of the other race and the culture and the people. But if the other person does not appreciate your spirituality and non-violence, then you should become like them.